So guys, I'm not actually known that much as an LST guy, but I do have 11 of them. I've only ran a couple of them on the channel, but this LST Aftershock was my first LST I ever owned. Now, she's certainly a clean rig. I mean, she's a little dirty, but as far as clean goes, as far as not a lot of corrosion, not a lot of damage, and this thing runs like stink. It's got the M26 Blackhead in it, and I'll tell you what, this is beyond a fun truck. I bought this thing probably a good 3 years ago at a Cash for RC event. Some guy brought it to me. This was way long before YouTube, and I think I paid 200 bucks for it. And this thing has given me almost no issues. I probably got about 5 or 6 tanks through it, and this thing is an absolute trip. But the deal is I bought this thing. I bought it used, which is no big deal. Nothing wrong with buying a used truck, but I've never built one. So this is what we're working with. I bought this thing for a couple of reasons. First reason being I have this insane ability to turn trees into ash, also known as plant-based inebriation. And it was cheap, $117. I think this thing was like $153 all in. But she's not horrible. She's just an LST in a box. And you start going through the pictures, and the body looked decent. Looked really decent. Windows cut out, but you know, that's never a terrible bad thing on an LST. They do like to run hot. A little bit of rust, a little bit of dirt. Yeah, it's getting uglier. Yeah, it's getting ugly. This thing literally came to me in a box. But the tires were there, and everything seemed to be there down to the original transmitter. Gas tank, engine, exhaust, air filter. You know, it just kind of seemed like a no-brainer. But if you look at what those control arms look like, well, that's going to give an indication of where we're starting. You guys saw where we started, and this is where we're at right now. I have blown this car down to its absolute molecular level. I literally put all these anodized parts and all these plastic parts. I had them soaking overnight in a 5-gallon bucket. I didn't think you guys were too interested in me, you know, taking 4 hours taking a Losi LST apart with SAE hardware, but hey, I did it. She is apart. So engine-wise, she came with an M26 SS, which is, you know, just a regular straight-up Dynamite SH26. And something kind of weird, because I found this on, how would you say, RCJunkyard.net. That this, the SS, should be a 5-port. This is not a 5-port. This is a 3-port. And she actually has enough pinch to run. However, I went in and pulled it out, and I labeled it for a pinch job. So I got her marked up as the Losi M26 SS. Now the engine, she looks a little rough. The clutch is in good shape. Clutch bearings were good. No issues there. She was missing the pinch nut, but the pinch bolts there, that's not hard to find. But hear me out for a second. So we've got the 26C Losi 26 SS. This is a brand new Dynamite 26, 427. Let me flip these things around. They both say Mach on them. And I'm kind of thinking about just taking this engine and swapping the head off. Because if you could swap the head off and leave the head button, there's no harm, no foul. It's just what it looks like is going to be the only difference. Now, another option is this XTM 24/7 Pro. This is a 6-port engine. This one's rated at 3.6 horsepower, where these other two are rated at 2.6. Now, the head will swap right onto this thing, because if you look at the head compared to the Dynamite 26, they're basically identical. The bolt spacing is the same. It'll hold that head button down just as good as the Blackhead. And I just pull this XTM head off of this thing and put the SS head on there. And plus the carburetor came off this Dynamite 26 is identical to the carburetor that I took off of that the SS engine that came out of it. Now the game plan is I'm still going to send this thing out and get it pinched. I got a whole bunch of piston sleeves going out next week, and I mean a whole bunch of them. And what I'll do is I'll just put this thing back together, put that blue head back on the old engine, and I'll have a good running Dynamite 26. And guys, the clutch bell on this thing is in really, really, really good condition too. That's important. These things are very, very tough to find. I do have some on some parts engines, but I'd rather just use this one. And my Losi drive will bolt right in, and the craziest thing is the one-way bearing is not cracked. It seems like every one of these Dynamite, these Losi engines, they come in, the one-way bearing's cracked. This one's actually in good shape. I'm not going to use it because the new engine has a new one in there, but I do have new ones when I put the piston sleeve back in the original Dynamite 26. Now, the only thing this thing was missing was a couple of rod end balls. Everything else was here. The hardware's nasty, so I ordered a new hardware kit. I got new tie rod end and balls coming for it. And other than that, I got a fast steady bearing kit. We're going to re-bearing this entire thing. Now the tank cleaned up nice. She's pretty in the inside. A little bit of gum on her, but she was covered in gunk. Primer works. So this is about as clean as this thing's going to get, but this tank is going to be fully functional. Now the shocks were in decent shape. No broken pistons. So I went and put new O-rings on the top. This is kind of a standard O-ring in here. These things just unscrew, and all you have is basically 2 O-rings and a spacer. Actually, it's a spacer, O-ring, spacer, O-ring. Got those cleaned up, but these things were empty when I got them. They were leaking, but the shocks should work out pretty good. And these are, you know, the classic LST2 shocks. So they are adjustable, but they got plastic cap ends on them. And they do have bleeders on them, which is kind of cool. So they're kind of negative pressure shocks. And the game plan is to make this shock, or this spring, look like this spring. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint these things in Rust-Oleum. Just make them black again, get some of the surface rust off of them, because this thing obviously either sat outside or sat in humidity for quite a while. Now these Mr. Gil Losi, I don't know what the hell you were thinking. I mean, I get it, it's a ready to run. With twin steering servos, man, these LSTs don't turn worth a snot. So I got a little cure for it. And the cure is going to be 36 bucks worth of Amazon digital servos. They're 180-degree servos. They're not particularly fast, but they are certainly strong. So you're not going to have to tell your LST twice to make a turn. Very important on these things. Now for the radio, you're going to kind of laugh. So it came with the original, the JR Racing, 2-channel receiver. And I'll tell you what I look for on these things, is it my battery holder? Is it any good? Is there any corrosion? And this thing is like brand new. And more importantly, excuse me, Mr. Body, where those 2 terminals are where my thumb's at, not this thumb. This thumb, if that thing's corroded, this radio will not work. Now I've already powered this thing on, I've already powered the receiver on, and it actually works. So we're just gonna throw a Venom failsafe at it, an actual old school add-on failsafe. And if for any reason that JR Racing radio doesn't do the right thing, you know I'm a fly guy, we'll just go with the Fly Sky, and then we won't need the failsafe because, well, it takes about 5 seconds to set a failsafe on this thing, and that's why I run so many of them. I got 1 slot left in number 9, and then we can bust out number 10. Then we got 20 more models we can put on it. But I really want to put this thing on the factory radio just because I have it. And even the radio box in this thing cleaned up decent. I mean, it's got a little bit of rust on the hinge, but other than that, she's doing her thing. So this is going to go back in, and I've already tested that switch. As rusty as this thing was, corroded, that switch is good. It gives me no issues. That's already been tested. So now I took the original header and I just wire brushed it because there was so much nastiness on this thing. So we're going to paint this thing with high temperature black and make it factory again. And the original muffler, I mean, she's in decent shape. She's got a couple little scrapes. I got most of the stuff out of it, but she's probably going to do really good things. Now, as far as the transmission goes, she's in good shape. I've already popped her open, but all we're going to do to this thing, there's 4 bearings in this inside this thing. Actually, I'm sorry, there's 6 bearings. We're going to change the bearings on this thing. I mean, the brakes themselves, the brakes feel really good. So no issues there. Spurs are in good shape. The slippers look good. Nut looks good. So transmission, we're just going to go through it and just make sure we don't have any issues later on. I got the diffs fairly well cleaned up. They actually feel pretty good. We're going to pull these things apart, put some real diff fluid in there. We're probably going to go with either 1 or 2 million on these things, but we'll get them shimmed up. But they feel really good right now. I mean, they feel really good, but you know, it's a basher. I like thick diff fluid. So when all the small parts come in and the hardware kit comes in, we're going to take all this, and I do mean all this, and we're going to turn it into this. It's actually going to be nicer than this one, although this truck does run good. But I want something that I built myself. I kind of, you know, there's nothing wrong with buying a rig that runs good, but there's something special about taking one down to its molecular level and making a proper RC car out of it, getting it to make the noise and do the thing. But listen, guys, as soon as this stuff comes in, I'm going to do a complete build video on this thing. We're going to build it, we're going to break it in, we're going to run it all in the same video. Listen, I'll see you guys on the next one.